What we're listening to here is the standard AMG performance exhaust which comes with the car, and I'm going to let you decide what you think of this compared to the last one and put it in the comments.
On the twisty roads or in the town, this is a car that can do both. You can go fast in it, put stuff in the back, or take it on a track.
That was my I'm going fast face. And whilst we're in the cabin, we should really talk about this. The world's best cabin. Couple of things that have changed here. First of all, these vents, they're not as good as the ones previously that look like jets, you know, like a jet engine, but you know, that's a small thing. This is the new steering wheel, which they call a capacitive steering wheel. There's tons of layers all in there doing different things. One to sense your hands, another one for a heating element, and the rest of it's just padding to make it very fat so that you can have the fattest steering wheel on the planet. Over here you can control everything on this side of your MBUX. This controls this, which can be configured in so many different ways you'll never get bored of configuring stuff. Down here is your driving assistance, and then over here is communication. So it does sound pretty easy. There's a couple of things that are a little bit fiddly, but one thing you will notice is the lovely humps that you get just on the bonnet here. I'll tell you how much I like this car. I cleaned this yesterday with my own fair hands, and the reason for that is I like touching the paint. As far as I'm concerned, Mercedes do the best paint. There's about 1,000 layers here, and this is obsidian black, which has millions of tiny little tiny specks of different colours, almost like stars. It is lovely to look at. I'm going to be forever cleaning it though. I even like the sound that the car makes when you haven't got a seatbelt on. You get tension music. Okay, now you could be winning £100. Just got to answer this question. All right, what's the answer? Gonna have to rush you. The reason I have chosen the estate version is, well, for two reasons. First, there's a number of reasons. Firstly, it looks better than the saloon. Secondly, it's a brilliant halfway house between an SUV that everybody wants but are prohibitively expensive. And thirdly, well, because then you can have a seat like this. You can sit and have a sandwich. It's a nice day. It's also got the biggest boot, 640 litres of space in here, which for context, I've got some cards here to tell you how much bigger. That's before you put the seats down, in which case it becomes a container ship. It's huge. So here are some other cars. Jaguar XF, this is 640, 545. Audi A6 Avant, 550. 5 Series Touring, 570. And the Volvo V90, now this is a curveball because the Volvo V90, as far as I always used to know, was the biggest because it would always be the one you have your disco in. Speakers go in first. That's only 560. That, and the fact that you've got this thick carpet and you can sit. Lovely. In fact, you could argue there's actually more room in the back of one of these than you get in an SUV. This is big. I'm 6 foot. I've got plenty of room. Down here, you've got your own little temperature control. You've got a fan here, which blows the air onto the rear passengers. You have to make sure that's off though, otherwise you'll think there's a noise somewhere. You'll think there's a window open. Burmester in the back here, or Burmester in the back. I love these materials, and in particular these seats, which are a lot better than you get in a standard E-Class estate. In particular, the driver's seat. Oh, is there cup holders? Look at that. Nice little cup holder coming out. That's nice. Oh yeah. We like. This leather is beautiful and again is an upgrade. But in particular, this driving seat I think is probably one of the most comfortable performance seats I've driven in. It doesn't hurt when you get in. Sometimes, particularly with Audi, you've got this side bit here which will give you a bit of a rib shot. This is a beautiful, beautiful cabin in here. I cannot find anything wrong with this.
The new E53 has a 0 to 60 of 4.5 seconds and 520 Newton meters of torque, feeling almost electric in its urgency at every speed. 4-wheel drive system, of course, but you'll barely use it because you'll be sauntering around country lanes listening to classical music because you're a grown-up now. But that's not all you'll be doing.
Straight bit of road, loud exhaust on. what an amazing sound coming into a 30. All right. You do not feel the weight. This is a heavy car though. It's 2,585 kilograms. So that in American is about what, 5,700 pounds, which is a lot. Give you an example. The S6 Avant is 500 kilograms lighter. That could be a problem because, like a human, the lighter we are, the more efficient we are, which is a roundabout way of saying in a minute I might talk about miles per gallon, and the news might not be good.
But first, the technology, the stuff that's designed to make your life a lot easier and much safer.
So, sensors, active blind spot assist has been upgraded. So this car will warn me if someone is in my blind spot in the normal ways, here in the wing mirror and down here. This will flash up all red, but it will also evasively steer if I attempt to go into someone else's lane. But the best improvement, I think, is how this works when the car is actually off. So when you've got kids in the back, there'll be a loud warning reminding them not to open the door if there's something coming. Then there's the rear parking sensors. They've added a new feature there too. I'm just going to show you. As you can see here, this is the 360 camera with this really nice blue outline. As I get close to an object, look what happens to the blue outline. It will just start to crumple. I think that's really good. But the added advantage is when you reverse, if you are not paying attention, because there's always someone distracting you when you're parking and it will catch you out, this car will actually stop before it hits an object. So first of all, it will start to do this crumpling here. You know what? That's as far as I'm going to go. You have to take my word for it. It will stop before you hit an object. Just coming up to a set of traffic lights, I want to show you this. This is really good. So, watch the front camera. Traffic lights, stop. Look at that view. That's brilliant. Shows you a wider view of the traffic lights. How it knows there's traffic lights there is brilliant. And finally on sensors, I'm going to do auto cruise. I'm going to press resume. Now we're in auto cruise. If I do this, it will change lanes for me. But there's some improvements. Roundabouts. This will slow down for a roundabout. It will see a roundabout, it will show you a little icon here, and it will slow down. Another interesting thing is that in stop-start traffic, brake, 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 brake. Okay, you can set your distance. I probably made it a bit close to Granny here. It's doing about 20 on a dual carriageway. But anyway, when you're in stop-start traffic, you get a minute before this switches it off. I like that, bit of extra time. Standard E53 comes on the 19s with run flats. These are the 20s, the matte black wheels, which I really like. I'm not normally a fan of black wheels on a black car, but something about this rim area here and the fact that this is matte and this is shiny is really quite appealing. The only thing that lets these down a little bit are these Yokohamas. They're not the quietest tyres.
Come change time, you might prefer a Conti Silent on this car, or even a Dunlop, but that's if you notice, because you're not fussy, I am. Otherwise, this is a very, very quiet cabin designed to swaddle you with its 64 ambient colours and a sound system that's brilliant.
Moment of truth here. Hey Mercedes,
How can I help?
what's my miles to the gallon?
Your average consumption since the start of the journey is 17.8 miles per gallon, and since the last reset, 22.6 miles per gallon.
Okay, well, yeah, I was expecting a little bit more than that. In fact, the other day before I was doing this, it was showing 29. All right. Hey Mercedes,
How can I help?
close the sunroof.
Unfortunately, the sliding sunroof cannot be operated with voice commands.
Right, I think you can in America, so not here. Or there'll be something on Amazon. Code your Mercedes, $49.99 next week. Don't do that.
Because it's £30,000 cheaper than the E53, this makes more sense. And it's left me with two very important questions. Why would anyone want to get an SUV anymore and look like someone's mum, when they can just get, well, one of these and get more for their money. And secondly, in a car that has left me with a distinct feeling that I don't really want very much else from it. Why haven't I got one?
Whilst we're in the cabin, what we should really discuss is this beautiful dog, which has just walked into shop. Do you want to be on YouTube, mate? Isn't this the world's nicest cabin? I would say it is. I like the, what? You like the materials? And what about the new steering wheel, the capacitive one? Well, this is the capacitive steering wheel, yes. And that's it, you have a seat and we'll discuss the steering wheel.